Hello there again, Internet. I am back with another Anti-Blanka guide. This is part 2 to my first one, and I am making this to go more in depth about things on some of the characters that I talked about in the last video, where I kind of didn't really show all they could do. There are some crazy things you can do against Heavy Ball and Rainbow Roll, and when it comes to a character like JP, he has a lot he can do against Heavy Ball, Rainbow Roll, and Blanka's Command Grab, though we will get to that later. And I will also be going over, briefly, Zangief, Blanka, and Guile in this video. So let's get right into it. So you might be wondering, why am I talking about Blanka? Because he has Up Ball, which is invincible to high attacks and will take priority over Heavy Ball and Rainbow Roll. Well, the reason why I'm talking about Blanka is because he also has Air Throw, and this is why I'm talking about Zangief and Guile in this video as well, as they all share an Air Throw. So Air Throw works just fine against Heavy Ball and Rainbow Roll because, of course, Blanka is considered airborne in these specials. And here is an example of me throwing Blanka using an Air Throw. As you can see, it is not too difficult to land, although you will come to realize that Blanka's is the one that works the most consistently and will land the easiest when it comes to the 3 air throws I will show you today, and I will explain that later. So now we are on to Zangief, and well, his air throw works just as fine, though it is a little harder to pull off. As you can see, his air throw does work just fine against Heavy Ball. Now the one tip I will have for you on doing this is that you have to buffer it from the ground. What do I mean by buffering it from the ground? What I mean is that you have to do the first inputs of it, which is half circle back from the ground. Then when you do the rest that are going up, hold up forward and press kick immediately, and he will do it the moment he comes off the ground. Timing is also key in landing this, but it is so sick when you do land it, and it will really make the Blanka player fear the red cyclone. And you can of course do this against Rainbow Roll, but I want to real quick show you another thing you can do against Heavy Ball as Zangief. And that is his jumping light kick. Now obviously Blanka was behind me, but you can also do it when he's in front of you, as I will show right now. As you can see, it works just fine, and you get a counter hit, forced knockdown, so now you can start pressuring as Zangief. Air Throw works just fine against Rainbow Roll, along with his jumping light kick. But that is about it for some of the stuff I forgot to go over as Zangief when it comes to Blanka. Now we are on to Kimberly, and she also has an air throw that is a command grab like Zangief, and hers is a little harder because it's only a quarter circle forward input, which means buffering it from the ground doesn't really work as well, though you can do that. You'll just have to hold up forward and press punch, but here is what it looks like against Blanka's Rainbow Roll. And it works just fine, though Blanka is at a fairly decent distance for him to start doing more Rainbow Rolls, more Blanka Ball, and whatnot. And here is Kimberly's air throw against Heavy Blanka Ball. So as you can see, I had to do a jump back to land it, because much like Guile's, as you will see soon, it is extremely hard to land from a neutral jump on Heavy Ball. And I'm pretty sure, my theory is that it is because of distance. I will go more into that later with Guile. In all my time of testing Kimberly's air throw from a neutral jump against Heavy Blanka Ball, I could not land it. So that is why I showed the jump back version, because that one works a lot easier. Though it's highly impractical because you'll have to be expecting a Heavy Blanka Ball, but if you are across the screen and you see it coming, you can always do a jump back air throw. But otherwise, trying to land it from a neutral jump is extremely difficult and will either end with you just jumping over the heavy ball or Blanka hitting you with a punish counter, neither of which is really beneficial for Kimberly. So I will end Kimberly's section by saying just use her Tatsu, that's quarter circle back kick. It is also a high invincible move and will work against Rainbow Roll, Heavy Ball, and of course you can do it mid-air and hit him out of a Rainbow Roll that way if you want. And here's what it looks like. Much better, easy to do. And as I said in my last video, any move that is high, has a invincibility to high attacks will work just fine against Blanka Ball and Rainbow Roll. So now we are on to Guile, and his air throw does work as well. Though, keep this in mind, Guile's air throw is surprisingly the hardest one to land out of these three characters that I have shown that have an air throw. His, I think, has the shortest range, but the same startup and everything. It is really odd that his is the hardest one to land, but here is what I mean. So the best way to get it is from a backwards jump, because otherwise a neutral jump I believe leaves Guile too high by the time Blanka is close enough to him for where it would hit, but if you do it too early, then Blanka will get a punish counter on you, which is not good because then he can do a drive rush, down forward fierce, and be right next to you. With that being said, it is just simply much better, much easier to flash kick Blanka out of Blanka Ball or Rainbow Roll as Guile. Air throw is just too inconsistent if you want to do an instant air throw from a neutral jump, but if you do want to do the air throw, you will have to call out a heavy Blanka Ball and do a jump back into air throw. So now we have moved on to Manon. Now, in the last video I didn't really show much. I basically said too many of her normals are not far reaching or are too slow to hit Blanka out of a Blanka Ball. But what she does have is a high attack invincible move, and that is her quarter circle forward overdrive variation of this little pirouette that she does. And you can use this against Blanka Ball and Rainbow Roll. As you can see, I still had to do a walk back beforehand, otherwise Blanka would do a cross up on me. But in general, it's not bad to walk back from a Rainbow Roll to where you'll think he'll land in front of you, because Rainbow Roll in this game can be changed mid-roll by the Blanka player if they're holding forward or backward. Another thing you can do against heavy Blanka Ball, which I didn't talk about in my last video, though I showed a very small brief clip of it, is quarter circle back heavy kick. This is a very good anti-heavy Blanka Ball move and anti-Rainbow Roll move. Of course, I had to be very early in inputting that special for Manon, which makes it highly impractical at about mid-range. Far, however, is a different story. As soon as Blanka starts rolling is around a good time to input this special, and you will stop Blanka mid-heavy ball, although you do not get a forced knockdown, which is pretty unfortunate. Here's that same special against Blanka's Rainbow Roll. As you can see, it works just fine, though it does not hit as high as you might think, so the best way to make it a consistent anti-Rainbow Roll button is to back up just a little bit, in the same vein that making Drive Impact more consistent against Rainbow Roll is to back up just a little bit. Still not as good as simply just using Manon's anti-air buttons against Rainbow Roll, but if you want to do this, you certainly can. So now we have moved on to Marisa, and though I showed a lot of stuff you can do against Blanka's Heavy Ball and Rainbow Roll, such as quarter circle back kick, which will almost always guarantee you the second hit of that move, there is one move I forgot to show, and that move is her uppercut, and the input is a dragon punch going the opposite direction of where you're facing, and this move works just fine against Rainbow Roll and Heavy Ball. As you can see there, Marisa is invincible to high attacks during that special, which makes it another very good thing to do against Heavy Blanka Ball and Rainbow Roll, amongst doing things like medium kick against Heavy Ball. So now we have moved on to JP, who has possibly the least amount of time in the last video when it came to showing off what he could do against Heavy Blanka Ball and Rainbow Roll, though JP has a lot of stuff he can do against those two specials, including Blanka's command grab. So one of the first things you want to look into is JP's crouching medium punch. This is a very good move to use against Blanka's Heavy Ball. As you can see, JP gets a forced knockdown. He is disjointed with his stick, so his hurt box is pretty far back, and the chances of you hitting this button too early or messing it up are pretty slim, and it is a very consistent way of hitting Blanka out of Heavy Ball. At around a further range, it's also not bad to do JP's Stand Fierce. His Stand Fierce punch is very good against Heavy Ball as well. You will get a punish counter. It is just all around really good. You can also do this button against Blanka's Rainbow Roll. As you can see, JP gets a counter hit and stops Blanka mid Heavy Ball. As you can see, it works just fine against Rainbow Roll as well. Another thing you should do with this button is learn the timing of when to press it against Rainbow Roll, because you can hit Blanka when he's considered grounded and get a nice punish counter full combo just from Stand Fierce. Now the last thing I want to show with JP is his counter, which is down down kick. It is incredibly good, incredibly consistent against Heavy Ball, Rainbow Roll, and command grab against Blanka. And now it's your turn to start pressuring Blanka. And of course that will follow Blanka all the way to across the screen. And another thing to know about JP's counter is that the overdrive version will counter Blanka's command grab. And of course Blanka has the huge recovery on that throw, so you can also hit him and get a punish counter, and then your special, the little things that float around and hit him, will start hitting him and you'll get a cool combo. So that is about it for this part 2 to Anti-Blanka ideas. These were things I wanted to go over that I didn't go over in the last video. Very important things for these characters that I've chosen to talk about, and I really hope that this helped. And well, good luck in your matches. I hope to come across you guys in casuals and ranked and seeing some of these tactics employed, because that'd be really awesome, and I really can't wait to see my Blanka get absolutely blown up by all of these cool ways to counter him. So once again, thanks for watching, and good luck, have fun, keep playing fighting games.